Hey, how's it going? This is Mike, guitarist with Iron Sun, hanging out on a Sunday afternoon. Not much going on. Figured I'd do a little video, my own little rig rundown video. Show you guys some of my gear, show you what I'm playing through, and just kind of hang out a bit. So let's start with these. Let's start with the heads here. All right. First off, we got a little Marshall MG 100 HDFX. If you guys know anything about Marshalls, you know this is probably one of the most affordable, inexpensive Marshall heads on the market. Don't let that fool you though. This thing packs a little punch. It's got plenty of power for what I need it for. 100 watts, solid state. You know, the tone is really good on this thing. For a rock and roll tone, I mean, you can plug and play pretty much on this. It just sounds really good, you know. I don't need much more than this. I have no desire to upgrade to anything better at this time. It's a pretty good head for the value, pretty good for what I need it for. Second down here, I got a little Ibanez Tone Blaster. I picked this up at a pawn shop not long ago. I was playing guitar for another little local band here, just kind of filling in on rhythm. And that Marshall didn't really give me the tone I needed to kind of fit in with them, so I picked up this Ibanez. Again, you know, plug and play on this. The distortion is really, really good. The gain's really good on it. 120 watts of solid state on this one. It's just got a really good tone to it. Really good metal tone. So right now I pretty much use this Ibanez as a secondary. This Marshall's my primary head. I could get a good rock tone out of this Ibanez too, but right now it's just kind of secondary. You know, kind of like a backup head. As far as effects go, I just don't use a whole lot of effects. That Marshall's got some built-in effects on it, and I use pretty much just the delay on that, just to add a little touch to my tone. But I don't use a whole lot of effects with the, you know, with the advent of you know, the PC recording and all the plugins and stuff like that. When I'm recording, you know, I'll usually use some plugins and stuff like that. And as far as our songs go, if you know, Iron Sun ends up writing some songs in the future that have a little bit more effects on them or whatnot, you know, then I might have to upgrade my my live rig a little bit to accommodate for that. But as far as effects go, I don't use a whole lot of effects. One that I do use is I've got this Behringer Vintage Tube Monster pedal. Again, very inexpensive, very affordable pedal. But it's perfect for what I need it for. I just use it pretty much as a bit of an overdrive. I don't set the gain real high on it, right about where you see it now, about 4. And it's actually got a tube in it, and it just kind of adds to the punchiness of my tone a little bit, kind of tightens it up. Does give it a you know, a bit of a vintage distortion sound, depending on what kind of guitar you got plugged into it, what kind of pickups you're running. But yeah, very affordable pedal, and you know, I dig it. It just sounds really good. So that's, as far as effects go, that's pretty much the only pedal I am using at this time. Let's check out some cabinets. Kind of dark. I don't know if you can see it too well or not, but this is a Peavey cabinet. I got a clutch sticker I put up there at the top, but I've had this cabinet probably 20 years, maybe even a bit longer. Good cab, you know, switchable mono stereo, 400 watt handling capabilities. Still got the original speakers in it, Sheffield speakers. Man, 20 years ago I think I paid like 450 bucks for this cabinet. Still using it today, still works really good. My primary cabinet, playing gigs with it, so it does fine for me. Over here I just picked up not long ago this B52 cab. This is pretty much just a backup cab. A buddy of mine was selling it. 70 bucks I think is what I paid for it. You know, once again, switchable mono stereo. And this one probably needs a speaker upgrade. I think it's got a blown speaker in it, but you know, it does good for a backup cab, and that's really what I bought it for. So I don't play through it too much, but it's there if I need it. Alright, let's check out some guitars now. Let's start with this one here first. This is probably a late 80s, maybe early 90s model Korean made Kramer. I've had this guitar for a long time. This is probably longer than any of the rest of them. Now when I first bought this, it had all the rest of the guts in it, but for some reason the humbucker didn't work. So me being young and inexperienced, I tore everything completely out of it, wired up just the volume switch and just the humbucker, and it's been that way ever since. One of my favorite guitars here. It is a solid guitar. It's heavy weight wise. I mean, it weighs a lot. I'm not sure what the body's made of on this, but it's the heaviest guitar I own probably. I also like it because it's got a real Floyd Rose on it. This isn't a licensed Floyd Rose. This is an authentic Floyd Rose 2 tremolo, and works really good. So I keep this one tuned to D standard. This is more of a metal guitar. I don't play it with Iron Sun too much, but I was playing it with you know, some of the other bands I played with, and plan on hanging on to this one for quite a while. Next, I've got this Jackson here. This is a 1996 model Japanese made Jackson, I believe. I picked this up here at the local music store used. I call this my Joe Satriani guitar, even though we all know Satriani plays Ibanez. I call it that because if I'm trying to learn some Satriani or something like that, this is the guitar that I'm playing normally. Keep it tuned to E standard, keep some really light gauge strings on it. 8s is what I put on here. Really good guitar. I like it. We got a Floyd Rose licensed tremolo here. It's not authentic, but the only problem I've ever had with this is the string inserts breaking. Every time I went to change strings on this thing, I was breaking the little string insert blocks, and that got pretty annoying. What I did was went online, found me a set of titanium string inserts, put those in. Haven't had any problem breaking those blocks. I mean, so that was well worth the $35 I paid for those. Good guitar. I like it. Over here, got a really cheap little Ibanez Geo. I bought this because I just wanted a good beater practice guitar, you know, one I could take back and forth to rehearsals, not have to worry about it getting nicked up, falling out of the truck or whatnot. Not only that, but it doesn't have a Floyd on it, so really easy to change the strings on. You know, kind of a no nonsense, good little practice guitar is why I bought it. Bolt on neck. I did have to I did shim the neck a little bit so I could get a little bit better action out of it, because I could keep that one tuned to D standard also, and get a little bit of fret buzz on the lower strings. Not too awful bad though. Pretty good for what it's worth. Good little practice guitar. All right, here we have an Epiphone SG. Well, this is one I also picked up at a pawn shop not too long ago. This is a really solid guitar. This is, I think it's an actual 50th anniversary 1968 reissue, I believe. Got the P90s in it, which I really dig. Set neck on this. It's got a wraparound tailpiece on it. So that took a little bit of getting used to, but it's a really solid guitar. I really dig the P90s, and I mean, it plays like a real SG, you know, like a Gibson SG. So well worth the money I paid for this. This was a great pawn shop find on here. All right, here we have an Ibanez. I'm not even sure of the model of this. I just think it's called like an Art Core or something like that. Picked this up used. Somebody was selling it here local, and I've been wanting something like this for a while. Not necessarily this particular model, but I checked it out. It played real good. I really like the pickups. I really like the sound, the playability of it. So I went ahead and picked this up, and I'm pretty happy with this. It's got a weird kind of, looks like a Tune-o-matic from here, but it's a little different. Some of Ibanez's proprietary stuff here, I'm guessing, but it's got actually got some fine tuners there on the tailpiece, and more of like a saddle style as opposed to the you know, the normal Tune-o-matics that a guitar like this would normally come with. So that's pretty cool. Alright, here we have another Epiphone. This is a Blues Hawk Deluxe I purchased from Sweetwater. This is a really solid guitar. Once again, the P90s, which I'm a big fan of. One of the reasons I got this guitar was because not only the P90s, well, a lot of reasons. I mean, it's just a good guitar, but the P90s, but the bridge also. It's got the you know, the fixed saddle style bridge here, as opposed to the Tune-o-matic. And I'm actually more of a fan of these types of bridges than I am of the Tune-o-matics. And it plays really, really good. You know, got a upgraded bone nut on it, and you know, really upgraded fret job done on it. When I purchased it, they were offering that for an additional, I think it was $150 or something. If you've ever checked out these Blues Hawks Deluxe, this particular model, it's got a huge tonal range, because you can actually pull one of those knobs up there and switch the you know, the tone configuration of these pickups here. So it's got a wide range of tones available to it. I normally don't mess with that a whole lot. I just kind of keep it set on the same one, the tone that I'm happy with, and leave it at that. All right, over here, this is actually a kit that I purchased, and put this thing together myself here. You know, Les Paul body style. You know, the kit was very inexpensive. I think this was Albatross Guitars was the company I bought this from. It comes unfinished. All the parts come with it. All the fretwork's done. You basically do all the finishing work on it, assemble it, wire it, and you're ready to go. Now, for the price of this, I was shocked at how good this guitar came out. It plays really, really good. This is probably my favorite guitar that I own right now, and probably the least expensive. First one of these kits I ever bought and put together. You know, made a few mistakes on the finishing, but everything else, you know, really came together really good. And it plays good, sounds good. You know, the action's pretty good on it. The only thing I might upgrade on this in the future is maybe the tuners here. I'm not really happy with the gear ratio on the tuners. But other than that, solid guitar. I really like it. This is since I finished it, this is the one I play the most now. So really cool. I plan on building another one in the future. Alright guys, that's it. That's my rig. Thanks for hanging out, watching my goofy videos. Check out Iron Sun on Facebook and Bandcamp, and we'll see you around.